Here we will discuss the difference quotient. This is a concept that's often introduced in pre-calculus, and it deals with determining the change of functions. Now, this concept is crucial to the development of calculus, so it's very important that you learn this. And if you understand how functions work, you can figure out how the difference quotient works. So we start with knowing that when a function changes, we want to know how fast it's changing. The difference quotient is how we do it. And then we're given this equation, f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. So more or less, f of x is the original value. We subtract the original value from x of h, and we divide by h for the change in input, okay? And what we're going to do in this video is, now that I've given you this, I'm going to work through a few examples with you. The first one I'm going to take nice and slow. If you're familiar with how to do this, go ahead and try it yourself. But we're going to start with f of x equals 3x plus 2. A linear equation there. If you're familiar with it, go ahead and try it out. If not, I will show you how it's done the first time before we move into the next 5 problems. So our step 1 is going to be to write f of x plus h. F of x plus h. So we're going to write f of x. So x plus h is going to replace x in this equation. So we're going to have 3 of x plus h plus 2. Okay, now our step 2 is going to be to subtract f of x. So we're going to subtract f of x, which in this case is the whole of this, f of x. We're going to subtract 3x plus 2. We distribute this negative sign, and let's go ahead and distribute the 3 onto each of these. We have 3x, and sorry, there's a critical point here when we're doing a difference quotient, and that's to remember that we are dividing, we are dividing by h. Okay, we're dividing by h. So let's distribute the things outside the parentheses and then divide by h. So 3x plus 3h plus 2 minus 3x minus 2. Now, here is the key thing about difference quotients that really made it click for me. Is ultimately what you want to happen when you're doing this is that everything that is not an h term is going to cancel out. So everything that's not an h term is going to cancel out in the numerator. So, and let's check and see if that's the case. We have negative 3x and we have 3x. Okay, those two terms will cancel out. We have positive 2 and we have negative 2. Okay, those two terms will cancel out. Now we are left with 3h divided by h, which of course these two terms will simplify and we're left with 3. Now, you'll notice something. When we did it on this linear equation, what we got was the slope. 3 is our slope, and what we ultimately ended up with is 3. So that is the same idea that's going to take place when we do this for the more complicated functions that we're about to get into. So that was the slow one. Now I'm going to go ahead and post it up, and we're going to work through 4 more of these. Okay, we're given f of x equals x squared. This will be our second problem. Go ahead and pause the video and try this one. Okay. So let's go ahead and write it as, so x plus h is going to replace our x. We're going to square that, and we're going to divide that by h. Okay. Let's go ahead and move that over to the right here. And sorry, there's one other step. We're also going to subtract by f of x, or we can just say subtract by x squared. All right, so we can distribute that over. What we do is we FOIL x plus h, and of course we get x squared plus xh, 2xh plus 2xh plus h squared minus, and let's go ahead and distribute the minus x squared. All of that divided by h. Okay, again, as we know, every term, or as I've recently mentioned, every h, our goal with f of x plus h minus f of x is to, in the numerator, eliminate all the terms that don't have an h in it. And as we can see, we have negative x squared and x squared, so we accomplished that. So we're left with 2xh plus h squared divided by h. And what that will give us is 2x plus h. Okay, now again, this is our slope of the function x squared, 2x plus h. All right, let's try that on another problem. Okay, now we're looking at f of x equals x squared plus 3x. Now I'm going to get a little bit smaller with my writing because these things can balloon up pretty quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take x plus h, and we're going to square it, plus 3 times x plus h minus f of x, so all of it, x squared, go ahead and put this in parentheses, plus 3x. Well, we can go ahead and distribute it, so let's do that. Let's go ahead and distribute it. We have minus x squared minus 3x. Let's go ahead and distribute that. And all of this is going to be, sorry about that, all of this is going to be divided by h. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's go ahead and expand x plus h squared. That's going to be x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. And then let's add it, let's distribute this, so plus 3x plus h plus 3h minus x squared minus 3x. So divide it by h. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and we'll put this over here. Let's go ahead and see what cancels out. Remember, we want everything that does not have an h attached to it to cancel out. So we have 3x, positive 3x and negative 3x. Good, those cancel out. Minus x squared and x squared, those cancel out. Great. So it looks like we only have h terms left. Let's go ahead and rewrite this in standard form. We have h squared plus 2xh plus 3h, all of which is divided by h. Okay, So finally, our h will divide that h into the numerator, and we'll find that our final answer is 2x plus h plus 3. That is our final answer. Well, let me not confuse you. That's a denominator. That makes you think there's a denominator. This is the final answer. 2x plus h plus 3. That is the slope of the function we started with on average. It's not exactly. And this will be used to find differentials once you get into calculus. Let's move through two more examples. Here's the latest example for you. And now, this should really be making sense to you now. This one will be more challenging. It's a trinomial, but it is within your grasp. What I've taught you in this video should be enough to do this. If not, here we go. So we're going to go ahead and do f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h, finding the slope. So let's take everywhere we have x, our first step, everywhere we have x, we replace it with x plus h. So we square it there, plus 4 times x plus h plus 1 minus f of x, so this whole expression. And now I'm capable of just distributing it, so let's go ahead and say minus x squared minus 4x minus 1 to save us a step of the parentheses. And all of this is going to be divided by h. And let's make that a little bit smaller. We want to be very economical with our space here. Okay, let's expand our terms to get x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. You probably see a pattern coming here. Okay, and then we distribute our 4 onto 4x, so 4x plus 4h plus 1 minus x squared minus 4x minus 1. And that is a mouthful. Okay, and all of that big long equation is divided by h. Now what we do is we simplify. There's a lot of terms that are going to cancel each other out here. Again, we want to cancel out every term except for those with an h in them. So let's see if we have, okay, we have minus x squared, and we have x squared. We have 2x plus h, we don't want that to cancel out. We have h squared, we don't want that to cancel out, but we have 4x, positive 4x. We want that one to cancel out, and we do. Okay, that means we're on the right track. We have negative 1 and positive 1. Okay, so we are finally left with h squared plus 2xh plus 4h. And all of that will be divided by h. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. I think my lines are going to get a little less straight because I'm using a little software here, but it's giving me some problems. Okay, so all of that is to say, now that we have full h squared plus 2xh plus 4h divided by h, well, we end up with 2x plus h plus 4. 2x plus h plus 4. That is our final answer. Let us do one final example of difference quotient, and I'm sure after you do this example, you'll be able to take on any quizzes, tests, or homework you may have to do. Not even going to pause the video. Let's go. F of x equals 2x squared minus x. Dun, dun, dun. All right. let's go ahead and get right to it. So x of h is going to replace everywhere we have x. So we have x plus h squared, 2x plus h squared minus x plus h minus f of x, so minus 2x squared plus x divided by h. Okay, we're going to want to expand terms, so we're going to have 2 times x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus x minus h minus 2x squared plus x. And all of this again is going to be divided by h. Let's distribute out, so we get 2x squared plus 4xh plus 4xh plus 2h squared minus x minus h minus 2x squared plus x. All of that divided by h. And now that we've went through all of that, we have, let's go ahead and cancel out any terms we happen to have. I sure hope they're right. We have 2x squared and we have negative 2x squared. Awesome. That means we're on the right track. We have x and negative x. Those cancel out. That's great. Now we are left with 2h squared plus 4xh minus h divided by h. Okay. Now we've went through all of that procedure to get to here. Our crowning moment where we have 2h plus 4x minus 1. That is the slope of that function. So thank you for joining me on this video on difference quotient. It seems like a lot of steps, but you just take it one step at a time. Understand that you're plugging where you're plugging x plus h into. We didn't go into a ton of details, but if you just watch the video again, you'll see where you plug it in and all of that stuff. If it's really not making any sense, you may want to take one step back, look at how functions work, and then go from there. Thank you for watching the video. If you found something useful in this video, please like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.